What up, though, Lions fans? It's your man Curt Steele from the Boss Up Ball Out podcast for Lions Nation Unite. Today, I'm going to address something that many Lions fans have been worried about and answer the question: did Brad Holmes do enough in free agency? So, grab your Lions gear or your LNU gear, hit that like button, and let's get into it. Lions General Manager Brad Holmes held a media session at the NFL's owner meetings the other day, and he has some important things to say about their strategy moving forward. So let's unpack what it means for the Lions and us, the fans. Now, if you've been following the Lions, you may have noticed that their free agency period was, well, in no uncertain terms, just a bit modest. They didn't do a lot. Holmes opened up about the emphasizing the importance of looking at the bigger picture, because sometimes as fans, we just look at the small picture or what we want the Lions to do. During that press conference, Holmes stated, "I don't know if I was clear enough at the combine, but I try to tell you we were not going to be big spenders in free agency." And he did say that at the combine. He kind of let you know, like, hey, man, we ain't got a lot of money to be spending right now. Now, that's right. Although fans and some NFL analysts were hoping for some blockbuster signings for the Lions, Holmes stressed the need for financial prudence. Got to keep them purse strings tight. He pointed out there are some big key extensions on the horizons for players like Aiden Hutchinson and Kirby Joseph, and the Lions need to be strategic about their cap space. Brad also talked about having 5 first rounders that the Lions want to re-sign in the next few seasons. However, the production of 2 second-round picks who they gave first-round grades, technically it's 7 first-round draft picks that the Lions want to keep on the roster. And those 2 players are no secret. Brian Branch and Sam Laporta are those second-round picks that got a first-round grade. Now, you have to think about managing a family budget. Sometimes mortgages and college funds to consider the dream vacation, or in this case, big free agency signings might have to wait. Well, let's put this in that perspective. For those of us blue-collar Detroit Lions fans, know about being frugal when spending for our households. Sometimes you got to ball on a budget. Instead of taking your family on a cruise for spring break, you got to take them on a staycation to local attractions to save money. And maybe you take that big cruise next year for spring break. I mean, you just got to plan it out. Holmes elaborated on the idea of saying, we had so many of these young players that have been on rookie deals, but now a bill is coming. Y'all know what the deal is, man. Sometimes you just put something on the bill, you put something on it here, you pay it down, but the bill keeps growing and it's going to come due and you got to pay it all. So this means that they have to decide to spend this year will definitely impact the next few seasons, even as far out as 2027. Now, despite some budget constraints, Brad Holmes felt that they performed better than expected in free agency. They targeted cornerbacks and managed to snag DJ Reed on that 3-year, $48 million deal, which Holmes describes as a bargain compared to other cornerbacks getting around $16 million a year. He said to get in the door entry price for some cornerbacks was about $16 million, and I wouldn't have thought we were going to be able to do that. Now, many fans wanted the Detroit Lions to bring back Carlton Davis, and for a good reason. However, his price tag was a little too high to keep him in the Motor City. So good luck to my man, Carlton Davis. Now, let's talk about some significant bargains the Lions got. One of the biggest resizes was defensive end Levi Onwuzurike for just $4 million. Holmes was ecstatic about the move. He said jokingly, bruh, if we were able to tell me we were going to get that done, I'd be doing a backflip. Well, guess he got to do a backflip, man. He said, additionally, the Lions re-signed players like Marcus Davenport, Aquadi Muhammad, and Pat O'Connor at an increasingly reasonable rates. So bargain placement prices. He also picked up nose tackle Roy Lopez on a $3.6 million one-year deal. Dollar General Brad was in his bag, signing these players and some good depth players for some pretty reasonable contracts. Many Lions fans wanted Holmes to sign a big-name pass rusher to pair with Aiden Hutchinson. That just wasn't in the card. Holmes said there are only around 5 to 7 premium pass rushers in the league. His priority to re-sign his own, which is Aiden Hutchinson, which he considers to be in that 5 to 7 player group. However, he did give an update on why he did not bring back Zadarius Smith. They just couldn't afford him with that current deal and all those guarantees that would have came even when he was not on the roster for the next couple of years. Now, he did say that he's keeping in touch with Big Z's uh, agent, and I know my man talked about the other day on the LNU network about Cash Doll may be the reason where we may be able to get his Big Z back on a reasonable deal. So, shout out to Cash Doll, man. Keep old boy in the Motor City. Now, these moves shows that Holmes is walking a fine line, keeping the team competitive in the short term without sacrificing future potential. Now, he wrapped up his press conference saying, I'm more happy with the how free agency went. We were able to get guys that we really wanted to get, and that's promising for Lions fans. So what does this mean for the upcoming season? Looks like the Lions are focusing on building a sustainable winning culture while making some key strategic moves. The Lions are gearing up for the 2025 season, bringing back 20 of 22 starters. I've said this before from last season when they had crushed it with a 15-2 regular season record. Brad Holmes and the teams didn't have to make a lot of moves in free agency. They basically compared their own free agents to those on the market and decided to keep the ones that were better. If a guy had a higher rating on the team and was affordable, they go for it. For example, right, an external free agent like Rock Yashin or Avante Maddox were just better players and they were more reasonable, and they let a player like Kendall Vildor. So here's what it boils down to. It's in my opinion. I think the Lions did exactly what they needed to do in free agency. They kept a winning team together without overspending and preserving the future of the roster and the salary cap. So as we look ahead, let me know what you think. Were you hoping for big name signings, or did Brad Holmes' strategy work and you think he did a good job? Drop your comments in the video on below. And of course, also check out the link in the description for some fantastic Lions Nation Unite gear. Y'all see the Go Forward shirt with my man MCDC on it. You can sport apparel from some of your favorite Lions content creators. We're all wearing it, and even some gear that Lions legend Herman Moore wears. So they have a wide array of options, including something that's near and dear in my heart, a military appreciation gear. Wearing gear not only shows your support, but connects you with a larger base of the Lions Nation Unite community, helping us grow this incredible movement that is Lions Nation Unite. Thank you for tuning in. Lions fans, be sure to check me out over at the Boss Up Ball Out podcast for more Lions insight and discussion with myself, LL, and Coach Mike Jones about our favorite team, the Detroit Lions. This is Curt Steele, and I will holla at you real soon.